Okay, Season 3 has been announced. This is what they consider a mini update. I'm going to break it down. I've read it for you, and I'm going to go ahead and paraphrase and let you know exactly what's going on. The first bit of this they let you know is that the maintenance is tonight, and that when you wake up, essentially 3 a.m. PDT, August 3rd, the maintenance will have been completed. This update will have been added into the game. The Battle Pass is going to go live the following day after the maintenance, and then which would be August 4th. And then they clarify here, which is quite important, that they want to let everyone know that there's going to be updates every 2 weeks. And these updates are either going to be a mini update or a major update. And they clarify what they mean by each one of these. So a mini update is like what we're seeing now. The Season 3 Battle Pass, a couple new events we're going to talk about, which there's actually one of them seems kind of cool, and more in-game, in-shop, shop type of updates, menu updates, battle passes, more things to buy, like stuff that isn't really necessarily gameplay or major content that we would really get super excited about. They're just letting you know, they're calling it mini updates, they're calling it what it is, they're not trying to pretend it's something that's not. So then the next one is they say, okay, but there's also major updates, which is the one that we can actually get more excited about, which anticipates seeing content such as new gameplay features, free storyline expansions, in-game events, and more. So we might be seeing expansion to new zones, etc. Okay, so they do mention that there. Now they consider it every 2 weeks. This is a mini update now. Maybe if it's the exact same as we had last month, there was a mini update in the beginning, much like what's happening here, and then 2 weeks later we saw a major update. It seems like they're kind of leading us on to believe sort of the same thing here, so it looks like to expect more major content going into the future. They say just make sure you know it's not mutually exclusive. They basically just give themselves a disclaimer and give themselves an out in case they have bigger or smaller patches, etc. And then they talk about bug fixes, etc. are in a different blog. We're not going to be going over the bug fixes today. I will put a link if you would like to find that. You can go through all of the bugs yourself. Instead, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be going through and showing you what the more major things of the mini update are, okay? This here is the Season 3 Battle Pass cosmetic. I think it looks all right for a Necromancer. That's not too bad. I think it's better than the previous one, probably, although the Bloodswarm wasn't too bad. I kind of like this golden look, okay? I think maybe I'm a little bit of a sucker for it. I like the wings on the back, okay? Probably will look pretty good with the Immortal cloak and stuff too, I would think. Now, here they basically say that the Season 3 begins August 4th, etc. They talk about a little bit of lore, and they basically state that it's going to be the same thing as previous. You're going to get an avatar frame, you're going to get some cosmetics, you're going to get, some gems and some legendary crests, etc. It's the same thing as last time, guys. Don't know what to tell you. Battle Pass 3, if you liked the first one, you liked the second one. If you like the second one, you're probably going to like the third one, okay? It's pretty much that simple. And yes, it still will be free, and there will be an optional paid version. It said it only runs till September 1st at 3 a.m. server time, so be careful of that. It runs a few days shorter this time is what they're trying to say. Now we're kind of getting into the more interesting bits here, which is the Wraithborn Invasion Daily event. So instead of just reading all the text, I'll put the link so you can do that for yourself if you want to explain it. Essentially 12 p.m. server time each day, so you'll have to translate that to your own time, but the server time is always in the bottom left corner of the game. You can see there's going to be a zone picked, and that zone is going to be flooded with demons, and this is sort of the defend the zone, and the server is going to have to go defend the zone. If the server is going and able to defend the zone, here's the screenshot that we have. We killed these minions, etc. It looks sort of like a bigger boss type of guy is right there. Okay, nothing too crazy, but look, you kill some minions, you defend the zone, and then you get some rewards for it. It says here, if you scroll down, it says be mostly repaid in gear, and then the top 3 are going to receive 6 enchanted dust. I mean, who cares about 6 enchanted dust? But basically, it's the chest of glory is what they're talking about. So I would consider this is probably sort of like a warband raid type of rewards. Okay, you're probably going to be getting, or just a raid in general type of rewards. You get some drops, you might get legendary. Maybe it's a legendary every time. We don't know yet. Hopefully it's a legendary every time, and it's pretty good. And since it's only happening once a day, it's 12 p.m. server time each day, right? It's a really cool concept for an event. Hopefully it's like super hard to beat. That actually takes the server wide to do it. And hopefully the rewards are quite good. The top 3 damage dealers gain 6 enchanted dust. I don't really care about, because if the rewards were super good for only the top 3 people would complain that then it's pay to win, etc. So I think this is just exactly the same as the chest of glory, but basically 6 enchanted dust doesn't matter. I'm mostly interested in richly repaid in gear. This hopefully is legendary gear, or else the event is probably not even worth the time to do if it's not guaranteed legendary gear, I would think. Okay, now moving on here to the Hungry Moon event. They're going to be rerunning the Hungry Moon. Here's the thing. We're probably going to see some complaints. People are like, really? You're going to run this thing for a third time? I love the fact that they're running this nonstop. It's a legendary crest every time. I've actually got some legendary items out of it when I'm changing class, because you can get a legendary item out of it too. I actually kind of like that they're rerunning this. I think this is a W in my opinion. Like, if they just leave it up, who here has actually been focusing on this event? No one is. Like, we're just doing everything else. And then, oh, I have a roll. And you go and you click and you get a roll, and eventually you get your crest. For me, this is a W. Keep running. Just have this thing always going, in my opinion. So far, it is always going. I love that, but just keep it going. Just keep running it. Now, moving on here, feature updates, the warband improvements. You can see if your warbands are online and their current in-game activity. They say, we receive feedback. It is difficult to organize warband activities. This improvement to warband will aid in streamlining the experience. This is the first step in a series of improvements. So this is a mini update. They basically say they're working on improving the warbands. I'm glad to see that they're acknowledging that feedback. Moving the vote to kick. This is one I didn't see coming. The ability to begin a vote, kick a party or raid group who is inactive, continuously rejects the queue, or engage in other activities has been added. This option will not be innately present. It only becomes available if the game detects a member of your party or raid group partaking in any of the aforementioned behavior. For a player to be kicked, it must be decided by a unanimous vote. Okay, so basically, like they say here, like the warband improvement, vote to kick is being added to streamline the experience of partying up, because people will hold up the group, etc. There's basically a party finder in this game, and because there's a party finder, they want a party kick option, so the party finder doesn't just get trolled by AFKs, etc. It makes sense. Okay, hopefully it doesn't like start randomly triggering and just popping up all the time and become annoying. We'll have to see how it is in the game. Here's my thoughts about this patch, okay? This is mini update, which means if it follows the same cadence that we had of last month, which is what basically it seems they're setting up, this update is not the one that we should hold our breath for. That we're getting some minor ones, and we're actually getting a repeat of the Hungry Moon, and we're getting this new Wraithborn one, which is probably the only one I'm super excited about right now, because the Wraithborn Invasion event, although the Season 3 Battle Pass looked all right, but it's, we know what Battle Passes are by this point. You're not really going to get excited by them anymore. It's just kind of a repeat of them. But what they actually say here is Gorgoth will seek to finish the job herself. So not only is it this event where it's like a raid, but we actually get to fight the new monster for the raid itself is coming out in the event too. So this is one such way that people actually get to like fight against that boss is kind of cool, like on a server level. So I like that too, because if you see here, if the minions of Burning Hell fail to claim the zone they're attacking, Gorgoth will seek to finish the job herself, sending and empower that over likeness to clean up any resistance. So we basically get a big boss at the end if you do a good job to hold it. So this is the one I'm excited about, because I think it has potential to be more what we actually want to see out of in-game events. Like, I think most people want to end up seeing some kind of thing where everyone shows up to do it, much like the haunted carriages, etc. I actually really like those. Like, the Ancient Arena in Biofin is one of the coolest in-game events, period. So I think that this is, more things like this would be nice. That's it. Pretty simple patch. In 2 weeks, we should be seeing a larger patch. And as soon as I have information on that, I will let you know by putting a video out, so you can hit the bell and subscribe below to be notified when that comes out, as I'm normally right on it as soon as the information comes out.